It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman, and I just have a little special announcement, some unpleasant news. As you might recall, way back, let me see what the date was on this. Oh, did I just delete that? Okay, here we go. Way back in April 30th, 2016, I had as guest on my show Cathy O'Brien and her husband, Mark Phillips. You can find the archive to that show on YouTube. It's called Cathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips, Access Denied for Reasons of National Security. And you may know that Cathy O'Brien wrote a book called Transformation America, where she has all these kinds of allegations against the Clintons and Bob Hope and all kind of folks. So I did a 2-hour interview with them, and I asked them some very tough questions, and a lot of people... Well, you can listen to the show yourself. We did a 2-hour interview, and I asked them a lot of tough questions. And toward the end there, I kind of felt like they weren't giving me straight answers. And it got a little testy at the end. So you can listen to that interview. It's called Cathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips, Access Denied for Reasons of National Security. So I just received an email on September 17th, 2017, 5 days ago. And it says, Mark Phillips from Cathy O'Brien, please share. Now, I'll read the email to you. The first line is, the greatest gift anyone can give is a good memory, dash Mark Phillips. Our great nation and essentially the whole world lost one of humanity's true heroes, Mark Phillips, September 6th, 2017. Mark Phillips was an extraordinary man of integrity who refused to tolerate criminal activity he witnessed while a U.S. government intelligence insider. He devoted the last 25 years of his life to blowing the whistle on perpetrators, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, for pedophilia, human trafficking, cocaine and heroin, black ops, and more. When the 1947 National Security Act was invoked on Mark's and my testimony for U.S. Congress in 1995, he safely navigated us along through the fine legal line we walked as whistleblowers right up until September 6th. There are no words big enough to express the monumental loss of my best friend and soulmate. We lived every moment as though it were our last, played harder than we worked, enjoyed silence between us as much as laughter, cherished our differences as much as our shared views, and embraced nature with passion. We shared a vast life's purpose together, speaking out globally to those with eyes to see, ears to hear, and soul to know truth. We opened eyes to the reality of mind control, PTSD, and healing from both. How fortunate for me that the keys Mark handed me to my own mind empowered me to heal from within rather than rely on outside influence. With strength of spirit, I am aware that those same healing methods apply to coping with today's overwhelming transition. I write out poetry, walk in nature, surrounded by loving pets, breathe in fresh air, feel the sun on my skin, watch my watch, and focus on my solutions. I do not mourn for Mark. He is free of the gravity of this world's responsibilities, which are now ours. I mourn for us, who are left without valiant brilliance, lighting paths to constitutional values of freedom and justice for all. Mark dedicated his life and ultimately his vast knowledge of intelligence, level mind sciences, to the reclamation and preservation of free thought. His noble purposes leave me free to carry on his legacy as a shining example of the positive impact he made on and for the lives of so many in the world. Love lives on in the light of truth. Thank you, Mark, for the greatest gift anyone can give, a good and lasting memory. Cathy O'Brien. So now Cathy sent me this on September 17th, and she said at the top, please share. And I checked the email. This is the same email we used when we contacted. So I verified this is Cathy O'Brien sent me this email announcing the death of her husband there. And I announced it on Facebook and a couple of little spots like Twitter. And people have been contacting me ever since saying, well, how come I don't see this anywhere else? I don't know. I guess maybe she only sent this to me. And she said, please share, so I'm sharing it with you, this information. Cathy O'Brien lost her husband, Mark Phillips. You can listen to our previous interview. It's up there on YouTube. It's called Cathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips, access denied for reasons of national security. Just to get the information out there to you and let you know what's going on. And also, too, there's a copy of this letter, too, in the description on YouTube and Spreaker and iHeart and iTunes if you want to catch it there as well. It's kind of interesting that just recently, supposedly, John S. Captain had claimed that he had contacted the O'Briens and that they endorsed his theory, but that they were no longer speaking publicly for whatever reason. So I think it's possible that the interview I did with them was the last interview they ever did. Also, too, I've reported before that during the Trump campaign, I was contacted by a representative of the Trump campaign seeking Cathy O'Brien's contact information because they wanted to speak with her and I guess use her information as part of their campaign. This is around the same time as if they were inviting people like Paula Jones and Juanita Broderick and Kathleen Willey. Well, people I've had guests on the show, people that I've known in the past. So Trump campaign contacted me for, and I guess I'm suddenly now with the press spokesman for the Cathy O'Brien. But anyway, so that's the news. The passing of Mark Phillips, Cathy O'Brien's husband, and she asked that this be please shared. So that's what I've done for you. Thank you so much.